So when a beginner first tried to draw a person, it usually looks something like this, and it's not great. It looks more like a bathroom sign than an actual person. But that's okay if you're suffering from this problem. This video is for you. Now, if you steal an artist's sketchbook and you flip past the hentai, usually you'll see a bunch of drawings that look something like this. This kind of spaghetti noodle person type of sketch, and this is called a gesture drawing. And what it is, essentially, it's a quick sketch that aims to capture the body language or emotion of a character. And this is probably the most important part of figure drawing because without this, your drawings are gonna look more like this guy over here. So yeah, I'm gonna show you how I like to go about practicing this. And we're gonna start by using references because if you just try to invent things, you just can't. Like that's just impossible because you don't have any context of what things are supposed to look like. So when you're starting, always use reference. Okay, so the first thing you want to look for when drawing gesture is the line of action. Um, and the line of action is essentially just a line that describes the action. So yeah, line of action. And for this pose, it would be something like this. Just kind of go from the head down to body, all the way down to the leg. Something like this. And this would be my main curve for this pose. And usually you can find a pretty, what am I trying to say? Like you want to use as few lines as possible. So if you can do it in just one line, you can try doing that. You can see here I kind of broke it because there is a change of angle in the leg that I think is important to capture for this pose. This little change of angle around the knee, which is why I kind of gave this little corner here instead of just drawing like a curve like this. So these are all little decisions that you can make just by looking at the pose. Another thing that is really useful to look for would be the angle of the shoulder and the angle of the hips. So for this one, the shoulder is at an angle like this, and the hips are at an angle like this. One thing you'll notice is the shoulders and hips it's pretty rare for them to be completely parallel to each other. They could be, but in most poses, they usually aren't. And what this does is this here, the angle of the shoulder and the hips being different, it automatically gives you kind of a curve, and then you can connect that to the head, and it just gives you that one smooth curve that kind of gives you the head and then the ribs and then the hips, and automatically you can get a pretty good gesture going on. And then the next thing you want to look at is the limbs, and usually you want to try to describe them with a simple curve instead of trying to like draw like the details and like the little bumps and stuff. So for this arm, I'm just going to simplify it to something like this, right? Just one curve, and you can even curve it down to the thumb here. Here you can also curve out for the fingers, right? Something simple like this. Same thing for this arm. So instead of going like boom boom like that, you can just do a curve, right? Just like this. And then the head you can just do kind of like a ball, like an oval kind of thing, or you can draw like a Loomis head if you know how to do that. If you don't, you can check out my other video. And that's kind of it. That's like most of the things you want to be looking for in a gesture. And so now I'm gonna just do a gesture drawing of this person and show you how it's done. Alright, so here the first thing I'm doing is just put in that shoulder and hip angle, like I said earlier. Um, and it just gives me this curve right away, which helps me block in the ribs and the hips, which is what I'm doing here. And you can see it kind of took shape pretty quickly. And here comes the arm that I talked about, simplified to one curve into the hand. And then the other arm, and I think I kind of messed up the pose a little bit, so this arm is looking a bit short. But that's okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then, yeah, here comes the leg. I made sure the turn, like the angle change around the knee is, I think that's pretty important here, so I emphasize that. And then just put in the foot. You don't really see the other leg, you only really see the foot, so just put in the foot there is enough. And then finish off with the head, and that's it. And I did do a few more a few days earlier just for this video, but before we roll the clip, I got a quick word from today's sponsor, me. Please subscribe, I beg you. Okay, back to the video. Alright, so I think I did like 4 more, and this is what this clip is about. Just me doing a few practices. But really, I want to answer this question here that I got on my last video. This person says, should I learn to draw gestures before drawing figures? Because most people advise me to practice drawing gestures first. So that's a pretty good question. And I think what you mean by drawing figures, you mean like anatomy and form, like the boxes and cylinders and stuff. I would say you can just practice both at the same time. I think people say that because I do agree that gesture is the most important part of figure drawing, and if you don't know how to draw a gesture, the poses are just never gonna look right for you, so it's really important. But the other stuff are just as important, so I don't think you should like master one first and then draw the other. You can just do both at the same time, which is what I usually do. You can see I add the structure and as well as a little bit of anatomy into my figure sketches, and this is how I prefer to practice. And like you saw earlier, that one's already over, but like I made a bunch of mistakes and I just kind of kept fixing things as I go, and even at the end it's not perfect, but it's fine, it's just practice. And I do take my figure drawings, gesture drawings, a bit further than most people would do. I think there are a lot of people that do like 30-second poses, which I think is a little bit too hardcore for me. I can't draw that fast. I need at least 1 minute. And if you only care about gesture, I probably could have stopped at this one right here. But I like to kind of finish it a little bit more. And so these drawings, I think they all took about 5 minutes each, I would say. You can see, and kind of the more you do it, sometimes the more you try to mess with it, the worse it gets, like this one. So here comes the Japanese Spider-Man, because I drew 2 girls, and actually I've only been drawing girls this entire video, so I try to add in the guys, but it's actually pretty hard to find good male references, especially for gesture drawing, so yeah, I need some help from the mystery of hell himself.
誰だお前は地獄からの使者スパイダーマン父とガリアの復讐を俺が果たす
And this one actually turned out to be one of the worst ones. It's probably the worst one I've done for the video. I think I was feeling a little self-conscious as recording myself, and it kind of reflected in the post as well. It almost looks like the person is awkwardly putting himself into this pose. And yeah, here I'm trying to fix the head, but then I never actually got it. I think what's happening is that he's actually pushing his head back a little bit, which makes him look a lot more tensed up. And in mine, he's just kind of looking a little too relaxed. Same thing with that arm, which I kind of try to fix here, but wasn't quite able to get it. But that's okay, you know. If one looks bad, you can just take that mistake and live with it and try to do better on your next one, which is what I'm doing here. And right away you can see I'm a lot more loose and flowy with it, and this one actually turned out a lot better. Again, if it's just a gesture drawing, you can stop here. I could have stopped here if I wanted to, but again, I like to finish it up a little bit more and add in some of that structure and a little bit of anatomy there because those things are just as important. So yeah, people tell you, should you only do gesture first? I think it's not necessary. If you like doing it, great. If you don't, you can do it like I'm doing here, which is kind of like a combination of both, but it does take longer. Like, some people are drawing like 30 seconds poses. You can do like, I don't know how many is that? It's like 120 poses in an hour. Like, that's a lot of reps. But yeah, ultimately, how you practice is up to you. I think the most important thing is that you keep practicing. Before we leave, I would like to tell everyone that I drew this Gwen just so I can make this thumbnail. So, what I'm really trying to say is, please hit the like, I beg you. Okay, bye.